We live.
What? You're showing everything. Oh my goodness. Here we go. We are going live. We're going to talk about our trip to Ghana, y'all.
Our first
Get it
impressions.
ready.
Yeah, this is our first live video where we talk about what's going on.
It's a little rough. We're going to get better. So come on.
So welcome to our channel once again, Reclaiming Our Identity. As we are talking about or better yet documenting our travels, our escapades,
Escapade. I don't see it happening on here.
escapades through escapades through Ghana. Or excuse me, better yet, through Africa.
Yep. So why are we going through Africa again?
Because we are planning on in the future moving to the continent, moving back to the motherland.
So we are taking a couple of different trips to countries that we feel are viable options for our family to live in. Of course, some research has gone into that. We've looked at several different countries, the investment opportunities there, what life would be there as far as comfort level and being a soft place to land for our children, education, healthcare, cost of living, of course, is a really big, important thing. Mm-hmm. But we just want to get away from the hustle and bustle and racism,
Yeah. Yes.
And have a more peaceful way of life and reconnect with just our heritage and our identity. So yes. Ghana is
the third
stop on the list of places we've been so far. So what did it take to get us there, honey?
It was a lot to get to Ghana.
Was it a lot more than it was Tanzania?
It was a lot to get to Ghana. It was more. There were more hoops to jump over, to jump through, better yet, to get to Ghana than it was to Tanzania as well as to Kenya.
How are there more hoops? Were
they
in quantity?
There were more hoops, and as well, the hoops were more difficult.
Can I stop you right there? Because I don't want people to think I didn't know what was going on. It's really important to me. We watch a lot of videos about people who have transitioned or are planning to transition or are thinking about transitioning to moving to Africa. And I am someone that needs to hear the details. I don't want anybody leaving our videos or viewing our videos and then when they're over, having a lot of questions. So as much information as we can put out there, I would like to do that. So as I said before, for those you may not know, my husband does a lot more of the labor, the background work to get us where, to the different places that we're going to go as far as applying for visas, looking for health requirement information, booking the trips, things of that nature. So as he's talking, I do know these things. We discuss them all, but I want you all to hear them as they happen and as he encounters them and what he goes through. And sometimes when he's telling the story, he's speaking as if you know the minutiae and the minute details. And I know that everybody doesn't know those things. So I want to put that out there because I hate watching a video and I'm talking to it and I'm asking it questions and my husband is like, they can't hear you. They don't know. You're going to have to Google it. I don't want you all to have to do that. Okay, so we were at the process where you were saying that there were a lot more hoops.
There were a lot more hoops to jump through. So to go, of course, you have to have a... in Tanzania, we could get a visa on arrival, if I'm not mistaken.
We got it at the airport.
Got it at the airport. But in Ghana, to go to Ghana, you actually have to have your visa before you leave. And so when I applied for the visa, initially I applied for the visa and I sent all my information in.
Where did you apply for the visa? At their embassy on
You send it to their embassy here. So you apply online. So what you have to do is you have to apply online and then you print out all the information and then you send it in. So you pay online, you fill out the application online, As a matter of fact, as I'm going through the process of filling out the application, it was it was a headache just filling out the application online.
Why? Because some of the questions were unclear.
It was unclear, and it was putting in the information, trying to upload the information that they required. It was a lot of stuff, and it wasn't very detailed. So some of the things that I sent, some of the things I had to send,
You were guessing.
I was kind of guessing. I'm hoping this is what they wanted.
need.
This is what they need. For instance, they wanted to see, they want to know where you're staying and the name of the place, the telephone number, the address, and all of these other things. And specifically, they were asking for hotel information. And of course, we did an Airbnb. So if we're doing an Airbnb, you don't have all of that information, especially when you're trying to move, when you're going to Ghana, and it may not have the specific street address and these different things. So it was.
And then I think in our case, you are applying for the visa quite early because you don't know how much time it's going to take for you to get it. So we had not yet booked
an Airbnb.
Our Airbnb. You want to make sure you're going to get your travel documents in line before. Although, of course, with Airbnb, there are some where you can book and you can cancel your reservation and still get a full refund or get a partial refund or what have you. But for those of us who are planners and you want to know that you have everything in place first before you start spending money to book and money is coming off of your account, which is the case for us, I don't think we knew quite yet exactly where we had saved some, bookmarked some on Airbnb's app that we would consider staying, but we didn't know the specific location. So as far as putting that on the document, you wouldn't know it.
So I ended up sending the information in, and after I sent it in, let me take it back. Before I sent it in, I'm trying to figure out how to work and navigate the website. And so I'm calling the embassy. And what I mean, it was a headache because I could not get through to anybody. I mean, I'm calling over and over and over again, day after day after day, cannot get through to anybody. And so it was very, very frustrating. Finally got through. Got everything uploaded, and
so it took. You didn't do it in a one. It wasn't a
no.
one
It wasn't
thing.
a one-day thing. I mean,
maybe 3.
No, it was more than 3.
Oh, it was?
It was probably about a week. It probably took me close to about a week to get everything done.
Just for the visa.
Just for the visa. I'm talking about when I say get everything done, meaning to complete the application and get it sent in. Because like I said, I'm trying to go back and forth. I'm trying to
get clarity.
And I'm calling, and the embassy in DC as well as in New York, nobody answered the phone at all. And so that was very, very frustrating. And so finally
bring your patience along.
You better bring your patience. So, fortunately, we were able to get the visa.
And it came back quickly.
It came back pretty quickly.
A week and a half, I think.
About something like that.
Somebody say something?
So it came back pretty quickly. So we are okay. Hi, family. Long time.
It has been a long time. Hi, Abdul. We're glad you're here.
Yes. It's been a minute.
It has. Been a while.
Yeah. So we finally got the visas, and we were actually and it was a headache because we were actually planning on going. We initially were going to go September 27th, and we end up having to postpone it because my brother passed the day before we were supposed to leave. And so we ended up having to postpone, and then we needed to get new visas. We had to go through the visa process again because, the visa is only for a certain amount of time and it expires.
Do you remember how long it is? How long it's valid for?
I think it's 3 months. I think it's 3 months because we ended up going. I had to reapply for the visa because we were going in November. That's when we reset the date to go to. We actually went the week before Thanksgiving, so we were there from the 17th through the 27th, 29th, something like that.
So then after the visa was finally completed and you went through that whole headache, then what was next? You were able to book the tickets prior to getting the visa because all you needed was the passport information to put in to book the visas, right?
Yes.
We had to book our COVID tests, which we knew we needed to take before going. So that was done, of course, after we got our visas back, because that was well in advance of when we were going to leave. You
Right.
didn't book the flights until after we got our visas back because you wanted to make sure that we got our visas.
Right. So, you know, we had already booked everything, but then because we had to change the dates, we ended up, you know, having to cancel.
Which is another plug for getting travel insurance. I mentioned this in another video. You must, please do not, especially international travel, do not travel internationally without getting insurance. And because of the unfortunate death that we experienced in our family, we were reimbursed the majority of the cost of the expenses, which included vaccination. Was it yellow fever?
Yellow fever.
Yellow fever, which we talked about that in another video, didn't we? Did we?
No, because we haven't done a video for
Ghana.
For Ghana. So the
Was
yellow
that the
fever.
$280 one?
The yellow fever vaccine, $280 a pop
Per person.
per person.
So that was a big chunk. Plan on that. I don't know if it varies from different companies that provide the vaccine or different states or whatever, but so there was that expense. Of course, the cost of the tickets,
Cost
the
of the tickets.
lodging, that was all reimbursed. So we
Yeah.
got a pretty good amount of it back. Just not. I would say maybe $60 or something that we didn't get back.
Something like that.
It covered the majority of things.
But before we go on, let me explain. Let's give some of the numbers, because sometimes people assume that going to Africa is going to just cost you, you know, arm, a leg, and an ankle.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
But it's not.
But it's
you
not
don't
as
need to be a millionaire.
expensive. It's not as expensive as people make it out to be, or as we
Especially
think.
if you're flexible with your travel dates. Yeah,
Especially if you're flexible with your travel dates, and also where you're going. Because, you know, going back when we went to Kenya, those tickets were. So we went to Kenya, and it was like $1,800 total.
And that was on a
round
fluke.
trip.
The only reason we went to Kenya was because
It's
they were
'cause
so
the tickets were so
inexpensive.
cheap.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what? We can go to Africa. It can be a reality for us.
We can go to
because we had
Africa
been talking
for
about
less
it.
than $2,000.
So one day he just happened to look. Let me see what it looks like.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Oh wow. And not to give the impression that we have lots of expendable income. We don't.
No.
But you know, when something's important to you and you have a dream and there's something that you really, really want to do, you plan for it. You kind of set things aside and
Yeah.
prepare for it. And so you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars by the end of a year on Starbucks, or
Right.
you can go to Africa.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So going to Ghana, for those who may be interested, it was. I think I got the tickets. They were probably about the same. They're probably about the same. I think it was a little bit. It was a little bit less than $2,000. Probably about $1,800, $1,900 for the two tickets. And then you had the, like you said, the
COVID test, the
the
vaccination,
COVID, the
visa
yellow
cost,
the yellow fever
yellow fever.
vaccine. So that's $560 right there, 280 times 2. And then with your insurance, you get the COVID test before you go, and that's free. But then when you get there, you have to take another COVID test.
How much was that?
And that's $150 a piece
per person. And
per
you have to
person.
register for that before you leave.
Yes.
Because you are taking it literally upon arrival. So this is something I appreciate about
Not just
Ghana.
register, you have to sign, you have to pay for it before you go. You have to fill out a health form before you go.
Before you
Before
board your
you- before you
flight
board
to
your
leave
plane.
your departure city.
Not just that, you have to fill out that health form, and you have to fill out a form for whatever European country you're passing through. Because you usually pass through UK.
The health pass.
It's the health pass or something, and you have to fill that out.
Location
Passenger locator
passenger
form.
locator form. That's what
Yeah.
it's called whenever you're going through Europe. And if you're leaving in the US going to Africa,
You have to go
going
through
to go
Europe.
through Europe.
Yeah.
Somewhere, either Turkey or Paris.
Right, London
in,
or
Heathrow,
we went.
London, yeah.
Istanbul. We went through.
Yes. So that is another
Yes.
part of the cost. So yeah. So once you get that,
But that wasn't a cost. That the passenger locator form wasn't a cost.
Right.
That's just something you have to fill out before you go. Because if you don't fill it out before you go, it is going to be a headache when you get there having to try to fill it out. Because most people don't fill it out, or they don't know they have to fill it out. So when you
there's a
get
backup
there, so it's a
line.
right, so it's a line when you get to well, I think we were in Istanbul, and you're trying to get on the plane before you can get on. I mean, everybody's trying to fill out this form so
You
that
just want to
they
move like
right, so they can,
get
let
the
you on the
process
plane.
And so actually, when we were leaving here, our airport, that's when we found out about the passenger locator form, and they asked us, "Do you have this form?" We were like, "Wait, what?" He thought he had done everything. We thought because there were so many things to do.
Hoops.
Yes, that he thought he had checked off all the boxes, and apparently probably the airline is supposed to let you know or send you an email, or there should be some
They
information
sent
on
an
their
email.
website.
They sent an
Oh
email.
yes,
But the thing
you
is,
assumed that it had.
it was right because it
Taking
wasn't
care of whatever
clear.
you-
Because I mean, before
You're
when you're
right.
going to Africa, you get a whole bunch of emails from the airline and stuff like that, or whatever.
Yeah.
And they sent an email.
I remember you said
but the email was not clear, so I didn't really know. Okay, I
that
mean, what
it's
is
mandatory. You need to fill this out before you come to the airport to
Right.
save yourself some time because you need this before you can even board. So yes, so to board our flight from our state and to get on the plane, the airline agent had to check for that passenger locator form.
Exactly.
And when you finish it, so she said, "Well, you didn't get an email." He looked through. Oh yes, so click the link in the email, which took you to a form that you completed, and then gave you a QR code that the agent could scan. And
Right.
then she took our documents and checked us in and gave us our boarding passes. So you won't get it until you do that for
Yes.
London or
Yes.
Europe.
whatever part of Europe?
So then when we got to
When we
Ghana.
got to Ghana, you land, and then you have to go and you have to take your COVID test. So when
before anything else.
before you can't even leave the airport without taking your COVID test.
or you can't go through customs. You can't. There's nothing between
You and the COVID
coming
test.
down those steps.
Nothing between you and the COVID test.
And Ghana, yeah, the first thing is the COVID. Yeah.
So it's of course, because everybody's getting off the plane, it's going to be a long line. So you get off, and you make sure you would have paid before you got got on the plane.
And it was efficiently run, so we were impressed with that. They had booths or
They had a
cubicles,
whole bunch of
several,
booths, yeah.
a long hallway full of them. We're all along the hall. We're different cubicles where they had testing agents or customer representatives
Yeah.
that could take your test and masked and gowned and gloved or what have you. And they called you by number. You stood in line and they say, "Okay, you go to booth 3 or go to
Yeah.
booth your family go." And you go, you took your test, and then
Take
you
it
kept
real
on
quick.
going
Then you go through
the customs process, which takes some time, enough time for them because it's a rapid test.
Yeah.
And they give you a, I can't remember exactly what they give you so that you can check your test results after you claim
they
your
give us
luggage.
because you can do it, and that was the problem with the airport. Because remember, it on your phone online.
Yes, that presented an
Yeah.
issue because we did not have local cellular service, and their Wi-Fi was not. Our phones weren't picking up their Wi-Fi, and I don't know for sure if they had free Wi-Fi in the airport. Although our friend who picked us up said that they did, and that it should have. So it might have just been a signal issue. It was. I mean, it was late at night. There were a lot of people.
Yeah.
Bandwidth.
Because
could
we
have
got
been a
in
problem.
at like
It
11.
ended up being midnight
Oh,
because
man.
our flight
Our
was delayed.
Oh, mercy.
Over
Yes.
an hour from London.
No, it was.
over an
It
hour.
was. I think it was closer. Was it closer to 2?
It was close to. I mean, it was
Yeah.
over an hour, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
long. It was long, a long.
Because
delay.
we got in. It
So
was almost
tired.
12.
and we were supposed to have gotten there around 10.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah.
So we thank our sweet, sweet Pastor Amos who waited for us.
A mess.
A mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pastor Ahmed. Yeah.
To pick us up despite
the
us not being
airport.
able to communicate with him and tell him that we're still coming and we're not there.
Yeah.
Very kind. Anyway, so
So we get out of so that whole process probably took, after we landed, to get out of the airport, that probably took a little bit over an hour.
about an hour and 20 minutes.
Over an hour. So we get out, we go straight to, he takes us straight to our
To his car.
Airbnb.
Oh yeah. Oh, to feel the warmth of Africa. It's just nothing
Yeah.
like coming out
Yeah.
and just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, of course, it's hot when you come out. Of course, it's hot. It's Africa.
But it was late at night, so it didn't.
it wasn't
like
as- yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
extremely humid,
Right.
so it wasn't too bad.
So we get to our Airbnb, and we stayed in a, it was
In a condo.
in a condo Airbnb. So we want to Do we want to talk about the?
Yes. So you know what? And I'll say this here. I would like for us to. I'm gonna contact our host and hostess and see if we can do a live chat with them, so they can tell their expatriate story.
Mm-hmm.
This was the best Airbnb host experience we have ever had, except for when I've done a few videos about when my daughters and I went to Costa Rica for my niece's wedding, because part of my identity is that I am Afro-Latina. My father is from Central America. So that was a very good Airbnb experience too. But Gabriel and Tashanta in Accra, Ghana,
They're gonna take
were
care of you.
straight family. They,
Yes.
oh my goodness. Every time they saw us entering or exiting our condo, because they stayed on the condo at the very bottom floor, and ours was up the stairs, and they weren't stalking us or anything. I'm just saying, if they happened to be there and they were sitting out on their porch talking, or they were coming in from getting groceries or whatever the case, they asked, "What are you doing today? What do you need? What's on your agenda? You need a tailor? Well, okay, come on, we're walking. I'm taking you to mine because I want to make sure it's done right. Who did you get to do this? Where did you say you need to go? Where did you buy that? No, you need to do it here. You need to do that. Let me call my people." That on top of stopping us and just having good conversation to get
Yeah.
to know us, why we're there, who are you, introduced us, and we'll do another video on this. We met a gentleman by the name of Voltaire Exodus, who is an expat from Cali.
Mm-hmm.
Cool dude, that bruh, real cool. So Gabriel, the host, and went up and introduced us because he was staying in one of the condos. So Gabriel is a builder, and he built a
He's from
condominium.
UK.
He's from the UK. He met
Yeah.
his wife, who is from Tampa, Florida. She was in. They'll tell the
No,
story, but
no, he's from Ghana, but he grew up in the UK,
Yeah,
and
so
then they moved to, or they moved to Tampa, and
Because
then
that's where she's
that's where she's
from.
from, and then they moved back to, move to Ghana.
And recently, so we
Yeah.
got there. They had just gotten there like 2 days before we did, to transition their family there from the UK, fairly recently. So his father had land that he left him, and he had an uncle and a cousin who also built condos on the same property, and another family member that was in the process of building one while we were there on their compound, which is really nice. So they have a little family establishment, and he rent out several units for resident expats and residents who are natives of Ghana, as well as using some of the units for Airbnb. And we can go back and link them maybe to I can do the direct link for his Airbnb listing.
Yeah, we
because
can put it in the description.
They are
We can put it in
so personable, so friendly, so
Yes.
kind, and just really looked out for us. In fact, I'm still in touch with his wife to this day. We communicate on a regular basis, and we call each other sis, and how are you doing, friend? Happy New Year. We've confided in each other. Just beautiful people. I'm so glad that we met them. And that's important to us. We want to make connections wherever we go, because there are all these misconceptions about African Americans. And of course, she was African American and he is, an expat from the UK. So they knew what they were dealing with. It wasn't like we were just meeting natives, but still building relationships and really getting to know people who are invested in Africa and specifically in the local economy and the local community is what it's all about. You don't just go just to take from the country. You want to go and contribute and really immerse yourself and get to learn about the people and the community and everything. So amazing lodging accommodations. They're very nice, very modern. I did a video walkthrough of our condo there. Did you post that yet, babe?
I did not post that
So
yet.
we'll do that one next,
no.
maybe tonight, so they can go straight to it, because it was really nice, very
I don't know
modern.
about it's gonna be tonight, but it'll be coming.
It's a quick,
Let's put it like
easy
that.
one. That's a little, what do they call them? A YouTube short.
Shorts.
So yeah.
Yeah. So the accommodations. So we had, we stayed in the condo, and we were fortunate enough, and we've mentioned this in a previous video. Every time before we go to a particular country, we always reach out to one of the churches there to try to connect with somebody, and we had a pastor there who was willing to show us around, to take us around. And so he would come. He was about an hour and a half away in traffic, and he would come every day. Insisted on coming.
Yes, yes.
And taking us around.
So nice.
And I mean, showing us everything. I mean, and so there are a whole lot of stories that we're going to share in future videos.
Okay.
You know,
we need to do one tomorrow. It's all while it's still fresh.
Yeah.
Because especially as far as day one, you know, him asking,
Yeah.
what is it that you need to do most? Okay, so he's like, you have to have food. You need breakfast. I need to take you somewhere and get you some food so you can have some food here. We needed a SIM card so that we wouldn't have the data.
So we got there.
Video story.
We got there Thursday night. So Friday at midnight. So Friday we were trying to go get a SIM card, get something to eat.
To put in the condom. And malaria pills. I wanted to make sure that I got some preventative malaria because I had a prescription for it and got in the field. I don't know what I could not find them before we left. So that was a day one, you know, top priority for me. I wanted us to make sure that we took those just to prevent it and just to make sure and be safe. I wasn't scared per se of getting it, but it's something that's highly recommended. So I wanted to make sure we did that. And there, you just go to the pharmacy and you say, I need malaria pills. They don't say, where's your prescription? What doctor have you seen? Did you have a referral?
Yeah.
Where's your insurance card? They said,
you don't go to the pharmacy, you go to the chemist.
To the chemist.
That's what it's called over there. The pharmacy is called the chemist.
And I love that they trust them in their clinical decision making. He said, for prevention or for treatment? We said prevention. He said, okay, let me tell you what you need. This is how you take it. This is how often you take it. You just need this particular one. Here you go. Here's how much it costs. And it was like the equivalent of $1.21, I think, something like that.
I don't remember. It was very inexpensive. So so that first day, Friday, we went looking for a SIM card. You know, so that
we'll
way
leave
we
you all
can
with this story, and then we'll do another live.
So we
there's so much more to tell.
Now let me say this. We loved Ghana. Ghana was great.
Yeah.
Ghana was great. Ghana was great. There are some issues that we had with it, and we'll talk about those in another video. But one of the things,
the physical therapist didn't be sorry.
One of the things is that to get a SIM card, you have to have what is called a Ghana card. So we're going around. We didn't know this initially. I'm gonna mention that. So we are going around. Okay, so the pastor Ahmed says, okay, we're going to go get the SIM card. We're going to go to MTN, and so we go to get the SIM card, and we go to get the SIM card, and unfortunately, they said we needed to have a Ghana card to get the SIM card, and so this is something new to him. And so we say, okay, let's try to find somewhere else. So we go someplace else. They're saying the same thing. We're gonna have a Ghana card. A Ghana card is basically it's like an ID card. And so he would have to have, and we would have to use his ID card
as a Ghana
resident, so he can purchase the SIM card so that we can use it.
So that he could register the card. So you can purchase it, but you can't do anything with it unless it's registered for your phone. And in order to register it, you have to have
a Ghana card.
Yeah, and only a national.
Basically an ID card.
Would have that.
Or you can go to a specific place. You can get a non-resident Ghana card, and then you can use that to go get the SIM card. Now, this is one of the issues I had with Ghana, because I'm coming in, and imagine we don't know anybody there. How are we going to be able to get in contact with anybody if we have no SIM card? And we don't even know where to go to get this Ghana card to get a SIM card. And so that right there was it
could definitely be a huge barrier.
A huge barrier.
Hindrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And scary. I said, wait a minute. They are jeopardizing my life and my ability to communicate and check on my children, because like you said, I guess they assume that you know somebody that's there, or you're gonna get in contact with somebody that's there that can get the registration card that will allow you to get the data, to access the internet or Wi-Fi or WhatsApp or so. But what if you don't? That's really, really scary. You can't get in touch with anybody, and then we're not from there, so you don't know where you can go to get free Wi-Fi and just
You don't know
plug into
anything. You
to
don't know
somebody's
anything.
hotspot or something like that. So that
That
was
was
very
rough.
disheartening.
That was very disheartening. To be honest, because the first night we were there, Thursday night, I was a little anxious, a little nervous because
We're laying in bed.
we're laying in bed. We can't contact anybody. So if something happens,
You're just running out in the
we
street.
we just out of luck.
And I used your cell phone.
You know, and so that was a little concerning. Not being able to have being able to contact somebody. But anyway, so what happens is
Our host with the most
our host
had sent the number for his housekeeper for the condo, and he said, "Look, here's her number. Get in touch with her. She'll take care of you." So we had Pastor Amez, who had a
call
cell
her.
phone, to call the number that I had screenshot. Fortunately,
yes,
I screenshot all the different information so that I wouldn't have to depend on internet to, be able to access it. So I just went to my photos on my phone and had screenshot her number. He called her, he spoke to her, and we made arrangements. She said, "I'll get the card for you. I'll purchase it. I'll have it. I'll bring it to the condo." You see what I'm talking
we ended
about?
up getting
We met as we were pulling up. She was pulling up to opening the gate to go put it in the apartment. We said, "We'll just go ahead and take it. We got it." It was inexpensive, $8-9.
It wasn't even that much.
Out
It
and
was
got
like
something
five.
to eat.
It was like $5, and we gave her.
Yes.
It was like the equivalent. It was like equivalent to $5.
Yes. U.S.
Yeah.
US. Yeah, you're right.
And,
So I mean, that was
yeah.
another blessing and benefit of the communication level that Gabriel had with his what do you call us, tenants at the time, or his temporary tenants, to provide that information. And she was kind enough to come at night. It was, by then the sun had said it was evening, about 5 or 6 o'clock. After all that running around from booth to store to, let's check them all these different places just to see if somebody else will tell us different, and asking, well, I don't live here, I don't have that, can you take my passport? I mean, I could come in the country with it. No, the passport was not enough.
And this is something that they just instituted, the Ghana card.
Which was why it was new to our friend Pastor Ahmed,
Yeah.
who was
And
born and raised there.
But the thing is, he had his, but
Yes,
he didn't.
but
But
he
it was
didn't
at
need
home.
it to register. He didn't need it for
Right.
his cellular service.
So he didn't.
because
It
it's a
wasn't.
new
Yeah,
regulation.
right, because it was something. It was like, I mean, it's kind of like a you have your driver's license, but then you also have
Just like our passports, we leave our
right.
passports at home,
Right, it's like this ID card
or a social
you know what I'm saying?
security card. So
Yeah,
to speak.
but it's not even like that. It's a you have your driver's
Are you saying
license.
it's of less importance than
Right.
those? Okay.
That's what I mean. That's why everybody.
But what I'm trying to imply or indicate is that those are documents that prove who you are, but you don't keep them on you. You leave them at home, just like he did.
Right, but what I'm saying is, it's just of less importance. That's why he left it at home. It's like, if I have a driver's license, why do I need to keep this little other card? That's just going to give me the same information that's on my driver's license, but the driver's license is going to do more for me than the Ghana card. And so he left it at home. And so what happens is, because he left it at home, and as we said, he was really only about 30 to 40 minutes drive, but because of the traffic.
It would take about an hour.
Now,
So having to do that and come
traffic, and that's a whole
Yeah, so
nother
I was
video.
gonna say before we end, we called this first impressions. First impressions was we felt like it was like New York. There are a lot of people there with a lot of shops and markets, which I loved, on the street. All kinds of markets. You could get anything there, from clothing to brooms to water bottles to fruit and fresh food cooked on the it literally was, my husband said, New York on steroids. And so for me, first impression is that's a whole lot. I love New York. I love it. I love to visit, but I don't want to live there. And so that's how I felt with all those people. So, we were contemplating looking in some of the areas, and we'll do a video on that and give you the names of some of the communities in suburban or more residential areas in the outlying areas of Accra, the city. We were contemplating going out and seeing them, like Timma, That was on our to-do list before we even left. We wanted to see what Timma would be like because we knew it wasn't in the city and it was going to cost us less to live there as far as getting a house, for the size that we wanted. But after we saw some of the challenges, like having to go somewhere and get a non-residential Ghana card, and we wouldn't have even known where it was, or it's way 50 minutes away in traffic or whatever, then to come back into the city and try to get we're like, okay, so what would it be like just for us to try to get a regular driver, like just lots of hoops, so that we will have to do our impression, our what we learned about the year of return, because that ties in together. But yeah, so that was my impression. New York, love it, would go back in a heartbeat. Oh my goodness, in a heartbeat. But don't see myself living there unless it's on Cape Coast or Orange Beach.
Yeah, that's another video. That's another video. We'll have to talk about Cape Coast and Orange Beach and everything. So
your first impression?
My first impression was probably that it was busy. It wasn't necessarily that I couldn't live here because it's busy. Because we were, being in Tanzania, it was busy. Kenya was busy.
So I was in the city. We were in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah,
we were in
always in the city. So it's always going to be busy. I'm more concerned about, how are the people? How I mean, and are things inexpensive? Is it easy to live here? Is it inexpensive to live here? Does it cost a lot? What are some of the challenges that we will have, if we chose to live here? And we'll talk about those in the next video.
We will. So we'll see you soon.
So yes, if you are checking us out for the first time, please subscribe, hit the like button, share this thing with somebody else. We're going to be doing more live videos so we can kind of get up to date and give you some insight on our travel to Ghana.
There's a lot to catch up on. A
lot to catch up. And also, we will inform you on the next stop. The next stop.
What I was thinking? All this money we're spending just trying to get there, we could be saving so we can have it, so that we can actually set up there. I just thought about that today. But I mean, you got to do your research, and you can't send anybody to do it for you. So yes, stay with us. Make sure you
subscribe, share, and we will see you all in the next video. It'll be live too, because I'm gonna tell you,
it's so much easier, huh?
It's so much easier, yes.
And I like seeing comments and who's there and all of that good stuff.
Because trying to see, that's why we haven't put up all the videos, because having a I'm not a YouTube. You know how you got them guys, them edit. I mean, they can just edit and all the fancy stuff.
You're not a techno savvy geek.
Yeah, and and so listen.
And I just don't have the time. I love that creativity kind of thing, but I don't have as much time.
So we'll do. We're gonna do some more lives. We're gonna do some more lives.
Thank you
so much, Kayla.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We're gonna do some more lives, and as time progresses, we'll send out I'll do those other videos.
Y'all don't hold your breath.
Yeah, but you'll get the gist. You'll get the gist from the live videos, and you'll know what Ghana is like. And
stay tuned for our conversation with Gabriel and Tashanta, because I definitely want to put that on there so you guys can meet them, because they were amazing. And if you're sending anybody to Accra, they need to stay at their condo.
Yes, and they're gonna take care of you. And we'll share some more about some of the things that they connected us to as well.
Yeah, because they are a huge network builder. Bye,
well,
everybody.
Bye,
God bless.
everybody.
Take
God
care
bless.
of yourselves.
Take care.
Be safe.
And
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.